Governor Abbott announces a plan to boost school funding and allow parents to use public funds to pay for private schools. It's not moving forward at the Capitol, and some Texas teachers feel stuck in the middle.
You are holding it hostage instead of bringing us up. We are literally trying to put food on the table.
The behind-the-scenes battles blocking progress and where the debate could go from here.
I feel I'm angry. I'm very, very angry. I am very sad for Maddie.
Missteps lead to delays in one Texas school district in identifying kids who may need extra help learning. Now, our investigators find some students have been waiting years for that help. $1 billion decision on your ballot. How a vote Tuesday could shape the future of the state's water supply.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. Time is running out on the third special session and hope is fading for a deal to send more money to Texas public schools. Governor Abbott expanded his special session call to include more school funding and money for teacher pay raises, but he tied it to his priority of letting parents use public funds to pay for private school. At an event at the governor's mansion, Abbott said he was confident they could reach a deal. That's despite the fact that his education savings account plan faces staunch opposition from Democrats, as well as some Republicans. And even though the clock is winding down, he voiced optimism.
There is enough time to get everything done that we want to get done, that needs to get done, to avoid a special session.
That was Wednesday morning. That evening, the House gavelled in but did not take any action on education legislation. The lack of progress comes as many public school teachers have been promised raises for months. And as Monica Madden reports, the delay has some teachers making drastic plans to face the financial pressure.
If you do what you love, then you'll never work a day in your life.
Paige Frontera has taught Texas middle schoolers history for nearly 3 decades.
If you've ever had that special history teacher or even a special teacher in general that makes history just come alive.
But her passion doesn't pay what she needs.
So at 30 years, I cap out at $63,000.
Frontera and her husband, also a teacher, say they recently had to sell their family home in order to make ends meet.
And we were going to retire in Dripping Springs, and that is now not my future. At the end of the day, had they given us even a $8,000 pay raise between my husband and I would not have had to sell my house.
Now she feels caught in the middle of a political debate over education savings accounts, where teacher pay and public school funding are also on the line.
I need to have a paycheck now.
For teachers like Frontera, the longer the holdout, the tighter her finances.
And you are holding it hostage instead of bringing us up. We are literally trying to put food on the table.
Monica Madden, State of Texas.
The House plan includes more funding for public schools and a teacher pay raise of about $4,000, and of course, education savings accounts. Politics reporter Ryan Chandler joins us now. You covered this week's announcement of the expanded special session call. What is going on here?
That's the question on everybody's minds, Josh, and not just on our minds. Lawmakers are also wondering. We observed a lot of frustration this week. The sentiment that there is a lack of leadership on these important issues for both Republicans and Democrats. Just to give you an idea of how disjointed lawmakers seem to be, on Wednesday morning, the governor conveyed unequivocal confidence that we can get this done. Not 8 hours after he told us that, the House gavelled in and gavelled out about 20 minutes later, didn't make any movement on education savings accounts, and didn't bring up a bill that the governor said was going to come. So it just seems like we're out of luck this session, and it might take another one.
You know, teachers have been waiting for a promised pay raise all year. The governor has been campaigning for education savings accounts all year. Is there any chance this comes together this session?
No. Realistically, no. I know there's always a temptation to say, well, it's not over yet. There's still time. The time is, for all intents and purposes, out. I mean, just think about what lawmakers really have to do here. It's not just education savings accounts, which by itself would be a very complex and controversial issue. It's not just teacher pay, which everybody agrees is a priority. It's teacher retention, it's school safety, school finance, the most complex issue lawmakers deal with every session. And the governor allowed lawmakers to work on those things with 6 days left. So now we're looking at just a few days remaining. this is going to take another session if we want any of this to get done anytime soon.
Well, can you give us some insight there? What are the problems between the House and the Senate right now?
The relationships only continue to deteriorate. You know, the lieutenant governor has been calling on Speaker Phelan to resign for a long time now, and it is only continuing to get worse. After the House left town without passing an ESA bill, Patrick blamed them for letting that priority fall by the wayside, and he even has been saying some very pointed things to the Speaker on Twitter. Just to give you an idea, I want to make sure that I get this right. Patrick told Speaker Phelan just a couple days ago, "I don't pay attention to you anymore, and neither does anyone else. You've become the teacher character from the Peanuts series. When you talk, all we hear is wah, 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 wah. You know the bit, right?" So they are not listening to each other. They are not talking to each other. These things people sometimes forget in each chamber. You can't do it alone. The governor can't do it alone. And it's not just about education. This divide also comes down to border security. There's a bill, House Bill 4, which would create a new state crime for illegally entering the country, and it would also give officers the option to voluntarily deport people, to apprehend suspects and tell them to essentially walk back into Mexico. That's the House's idea. The Senate doesn't agree, and they can't come to any kind of agreement about what that bill looks like. So politically, for Governor Abbott, even if he doesn't get school choice this session, he could at least go back to his voters and say, look, we did a lot for border security, but now that doesn't even look like that's going to happen.
All right. Well, thanks for breaking that down, and thanks for the impersonation from Charlie Brown. That doesn't quite play out on Twitter, but you did it great.
I don't think I got my Charlie Brown impression down perfectly, but I tried my best.
That's going to be a social media clip on its own. All right. Thanks, Ryan. COVID cases are rising, but it's getting harder to track the impact on some of the most vulnerable Texans. Why detailed data about cases in nursing homes is now more difficult to find. A backlog delays special education help for children in one Texas school district. They asked for help in previous school years. Our investigation looks at why they're still waiting on key services to start.